Welcome to another edition of Sunday Motivations with Kevin and Friends. This show is a division of RMK Productions and 10 United Podcast Network. Our mission is to uplift through voices, inspire, share stories, and experiences of perspectives using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is hope, H-O-P-E, helping other people every day. Today, our quote is brought to you by one of our good family members, Mr. Bruce Hill, created by Mr. Colin Powell. The quote, if you're going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude. Now, we do this every single weekend. We bring a quote and we toss it out and see what our perception and our interpretations are. Whoever brought the quote in basically leads off, and every week is a different person. So, Bruce Hill, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share. Me, Bruce Hill, new skills, new you. If we're going to achieve excellence in big things, so I'll do a little different with your permission, Kevin. I'll do a little different. I've got a prompt that will go around once or twice. So, of course, I want to hear your thoughts on a quote. Then I have a prompt question to dive a little deeper. I'll start with a story on how I live this quote. When I picked it out, again, I always try and choose things from in here, from in my heart that I live. When I picked it out, less than a week later, Colin Powell passed away. And I don't believe anything's a coincidence. That lets me know I was in alignment. So rest in peace to Colin Powell. And I appreciate the leadership that he displayed and set the example for. So he said, if you're going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception, it's a prevailing attitude. And one of the things I love about this one is that excellence can be such a subtle shift in our thinking and our attitude before it shows up in our behavior, right? Hey, please only take one. No one's going to notice if I take two, right? Or if you're in the break room at work in the office, this food has been in here for a while. No one's going to miss it, right? Whether it's in public or in person or private, excellence really is the accumulation of the small things that we do every day. Another quote I enjoy is, how you do anything is how you do everything. So when it comes to excellence, we think it has to be this grandiose behavior or this huge accomplishment, but it really is how we conduct ourselves on a day-to-day basis, our habit in the little matters. And one of the things I always strive being in sales is I'm going to make one more call. And the reason I do that is I want to get in the habit of going the extra mile. I think we've heard that before, right? It's not crowded on the extra mile. And what happens is, leading by example, it pulls the team up, it pulls the company up. And of course, I benefit too from those little matters that add up to excellence in big things. And this is probably one of the simplest quotes to live, because you don't have to start a billion-dollar company, right? You don't have to visit every country around the world. You don't have to run for president. All you have to do is your best, operate integrity at the little things that you do every day. And that ripple effect will change the world. So excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Start small and dream big, dream big, big, big.
Got a little sound effect there. I don't know where that came from. The echo came in, but wow. And again, rest in peace, Brother Colin Powell. And also I'd like to send my condolences to the families of Colin Powell and also Mrs. Hutchison that tragically lost her life on a movie set this week. And we send our love and energy out to both families. So excellence develops the habits in little matters. Samantha, all right. Go ahead, take the stage. Let's run.
Okay, go ahead. So I absolutely love this this quote, and he was so right on it's not about the big things. It is about the little things. And if you think, really think about it, when we become excellent in something that we do, it is because we do it over and over and over and over again. That practice really does make perfect. It makes excellence. So when our little habits that we do every day, we are seeing the results of those habits. So if we don't see something that we like, that we're producing, or in ourselves, we know that we need to change our habits. That's how we become excellent. It is those little tiny habits that we do put out every single day. So it's people get so discouraged sometimes when they feel that they failed or it's not good enough. And really, it's not that they're not good enough. It's not that they have failed. And I wish that they wouldn't feel that way. It's just about, you know what, do it again and do it again and do it again. Just like when a singer sings a song, do you think they just picked up a microphone and started singing? I mean, you have those rare individuals, but even the best of the best will practice a song again and again and again. They fine-tuned their vocal cords, right? And that's what creates excellence. It's their habits every day. What are they doing every single day to become what they have become, or producing the results that they're producing? So excellence really is, it is our prevailing attitude. I love that, that's at the end of that quote, because we have to have the right attitude waking up every day and doing it. We can't have that failing attitude. We need to, like, yes, I'm doing it again. Yes, I'm going to do it again, and just be there and show up and be very focused, not getting discouraged, not feeling like, you know what, I'm just not good enough, I'm just going to quit, right? There's those attitudes that doesn't this excellence. It does start with our attitude. Keep going forward and doing it again and again and again. So thank you. That's all I got to say.
Oh, that was excellent. And it is, habits are created by doing the small things, and small things, and based on your perception and interpretation, all of a sudden become big things. Every single company that's ever been created has started out as a small company, and then they have blossomed. Just like you plant a seed, it germinates, and as it rises, it blooms. And that's the way excellence basically starts out. And it's funny that you guys brought this up. And when the quote comes out, you have one mindset. And as you listen to the conversations of the people and friends that are here with us on Sunday Motivationals with Kevin and Friends, you start to think. I remember back in the day when I would never say I was a struggling actor, because I wasn't struggling. I was going after a dream, and I had a charm made, and it said attitude is everything. And then on the side of it, there were two diamonds. And then in the middle of it, it said dreamer. And I said it was okay to dream. And people don't realize that when they dream and they share their dreams, people that don't dream become dream stealers. So even when creating a partnership, I always tell people, look for this quality in a partner. 3 things: ready, willing, and able. A good partner is always ready to do whatever it takes. He makes himself able, okay? And he's always ready to get started. Attitude is everything. If you don't believe it, it can't be achieved. And if you think too little, you'll never be able to experience what it feels like when it gets that big. So, sometimes greatness comes out of the mouth of babes, and we need to learn and listen. And sometimes great conversations comes out of people that have planted their seed and they've germinated and they have blossomed into the world, and they now take center stage, like the late brother Colin Powell. If you're going to achieve big things, the little things have to matter. And I think going away and taking away from this, we just need to think. We need to inhale, we need to exhale, and we need to place a higher value on the little things and not so much on the big picture. All right? Because you look at the fact when you climb the top of a mountain, is the first step and the second step that gets you from point A to point B. And once you've reached the pinnacle of that dream, that top of the mountain, you look at 360 degrees around you and you see how big your dream became. So on that note, I am going to, again, thank you for allowing us this time and space, not only in your mind, but in your heart. And I hope that people that are listening to Sunday Motivationals with Kevin and Friends take just a little piece of what we've had and add it to yours. And
I have a question.
go ahead.
We'll leave. So one of the things is making these quotes real and not just, I call them fridge magnets. What's a time where you did something little that actually ended up making a big difference? So for me, I didn't even realize, I've forgotten this. I was working with a young man, he's a real estate investor, and I was like, hey, I haven't talked to you in years. You know, what made you reach out? I'm really glad to help. What made you reach out? He's like, yo, you saved my life. I was like, I mean, it's just real estate, you know. I appreciate it. It's not that deep. He's like, no, man. He was like, years ago, you're at a swimming pool, I almost drowned and you saved me. And I mean, even now, you know, I'll tell you the story. I don't remember that incident. But that's one of the habits that I've lived, is always being willing to help others. When I have the power and I have the resources, I do. Whether it's convenient or difficult, I look at, is it impactful? And so 20 years later, maybe more, now we're helping him build his real estate business. And so maybe saving someone's life isn't so little, but I genuinely don't remember that incident happening. And so that's where it turns into a big thing for something I automatically did. So what would you say is a small thing that you did that's made a big difference in your life or in others?
Well,
Sam?
Go ahead, Sam.
Wow. Let me see what I think an excellent example would be. I'm going to go to my accounting career. And we're talking about small steps and the difference that it does make in others. You're like, how is your career making a difference in others? But I started out as that minimal accounts receivable, accounts payable, working my way up to full charge bookkeeper. And, you know, in the end, I was the company controller for big, huge corporations. I would go in, clean out their books. I did a lot of forensic accounting, right? And so, but it was that repetitive habit behavior every single day, waking up, working myself from the bottom all the way to the top. And so now as an accountant, I could go into any company, doesn't matter the industry, and I'm able to rip their books apart, put it back together, and deliver them financial statements, as well as train their staff. And so that's part of when you're even in your profession, being good at it, working those little small steps, being excellent at what you do, no matter how minimal the work is, and working your way up and being able to deliver that excellence to corporations and businesses that need it. So, and now I'm able to transform all of those skills into helping other entrepreneurs start their own businesses, and to be able to really train and teach them. So that's living excellence every single day, because that's what it's about, right? No matter what we're doing, it's about helping others. It's about giving.
I couldn't agree more. Kevin, I know you got a few stories. You can only pick one though.
and that's what I was trying to think in my mind, because I've been on this planet a lot longer than the both of you guys, and I will say the one story that sticks out in my mind amongst the many is that when I released my last book, Indispensable Games of X's and O's, and I had sent it to my fraternity brother Keith Perkins at Central State. Someone in that circle, that text message of Central State, contacted a young man by the name of Gary Allen. And I had always thought that who I am today was the person that developed long after I graduated and gone through life experiences. And I got a phone call out of the blue. And he goes, Gary Allen, he said, Mr. McLemore. He said, this is Gary Allen. And I'm trying to think of who Gary Allen is, because you may not remember me. He says, you used to be the assistant manager at the McDonald's in Xenia, Ohio.
Oh, I've eaten at McDonald's.
Yeah, I stopped eating there, so the McDonald's don't get crazy. But he told me, he says, I've been trying to get in touch with you for years. And he says, my sister is part of the Alumni Association, and she asked if I knew this guy, Kevin McLemore. He has a book coming out. And he goes, yeah. He said, I've been looking for this guy. And at that time, I was 60, I think 61. So I'm 62, soon to be 63. And I'm going to try to make a long story short. And so Gary went on to tell me all the things he was doing. He is a state trooper in Columbus, Ohio. And we talked about, because we were going through Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. And he shared some conversation which confirmed what we already know through his experience of being a high-ranking officer in that position and the things he had to overcome. But the thing that made this conversation so important, he says, it's amazing that we reached out to each other. He says, you said one thing to me. He says, a Black man with an education is the most dangerous man on the planet. And I said, I said that? He goes, yeah. And I said, I had to be 18, 19. I don't think I was 20 years of age. And he had to be at least 16 when I had that conversation for him to work at McDonald's. And he says, you told me and you made me promise that I was going to get my education. And he says, life happened to me. I graduated from high school. I had a baby early on. I worked, I went into law enforcement, and this was a Wednesday afternoon. I can't forget this, because he says, this Friday, I'm going to turn 60 years old. He says, I kept my promise to you. I am about to graduate from college.
I love it. I love it. And like you said, you don't even remember saying that. That don't even sound like
saying it. And that's the reason why when I wrote in my book, Words Matter, because I'm going to tell you, when he told me that, I cried like a baby. He doesn't know that, but I cried like a baby, because I always say words either build or they destroy. And sometimes we don't realize, and just like this every Sunday, how words are going to land with someone and what the interpretation and perspectives of that word. And that's the reason why each week these conversations are so important, even though we don't have large numbers that have these conversations. But when we share this through YouTube and it gets out in the world, one person is going to connect, and these small things are eventually going to turn into something big. And I'm glad you didn't let me end this without answering that question. So I'm going to pull back and drop the gears down instead of shifting fast forward to speeding into my dreams, which is a quote that I always say, put your foot down on the gas pedal, drift through the curves at full speed, hold on, and crash into your dreams. That's a Kevin McLemore-ism, because I believe it's something you're going to do. Sometimes dreams become a little reckless and it doesn't make sense to everybody else, but dreams do come true, but you have to work at it. So, Sam, any closing?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm good today. It was just what an excellent quote. I love it. And I think that if everybody really just looks at their own life, they can see where they have achieved excellence. Excellence always starts from within, never without. It's within. It's us. So
that's important.
Bruce, would you like anything else you want to leave us, or open the door for another quote? We have 20 more minutes.
Oh no, look at you. Yeah, we could definitely do this for another 20 minutes or 2 hours, but I think there's something valuable in brevity. Whenever we have these quotes, they're distillations of truth, and I encourage everyone listening to expound on them, to explore the context which they were given, and find out how you can live them if they match with your morals, ethics, and beliefs. Find out how you can put it into practice in your life. And that's where the difference happens. That's where the magic happens, as some say. Now, these can be completely useless until you use them.
All right, it's better said, and I am not going to steal your moment. I'm going to let you let the people resonate on this. And again, I want to thank everyone. Thank Samantha, Bruce, for always being present, and I want to thank my listeners for tuning in each week. We meet here at 7. Each week we meet here on Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just remember, education is not designed to make you comfortable. It is designed to make you think. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of Sunday Motivations with Kevin and Friends. Use this hashtag, find 1,000 reasons, the number 2, the letter B, kind, the number 2, spell out the word someone. Find 1,000 reasons to be kind to someone. As my grandfather used to always say, when you get to a position in life, you can help someone else. It is your duty. Reach one, teach one. Fade to black, and we're out. Again, thank you guys. Boom, 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 boom. This is great. God, I love being with smart people.
That was good, Sam. That was good. I like what you said as far as if you don't like the results that you're getting, you got to look at your habits. I needed that reminder this morning.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is. It is us. It is us. And that's, I've been studying Dr. Joe Dispenza. I got his new book, actually.
Ooh.
I know.
Which book?
I just got his new book, Being Supernatural.
Okay. Kevin, you know Dr. Joe Dispenza?
And
No, I'm not familiar.
Hold on, Samantha. I really want him to have the context of who this is. So he is, I don't even know if he is a neuroscientist, but he looks at neurology and learning, but he connects in a very spiritual way that it is one and the same to help you to manifest the life you want, to really live a life of abundance. But it's a very scientific approach to some spiritual principles. It's incredible how he weaves them together. So I definitely recommend exploring him as an author and as a teacher. Now, Sam, you can.
Yeah, so this book really does dive into becoming supernatural. This book really dives into the pineal gland, and and again, it's very scientific. He brings in the science of it, and he really explains in this book how to really how to tap in and activate that pineal gland. But he also really teaches about how to use meditation to become, to establish new habits, to break that old hypnotic cycles. So he's bringing in some practices that, and again, it's excellence. It's doing it every single day. Like if you don't see the results, the first time around, you just keep doing it and you keep doing it, and you will eventually see the result. And he brings in the stories that have been proven. These are not fictitious stories by any means. He does scientific testing on the results of meditations, the different kinds of meditations. And one of the ladies back in 2011 cured herself of cancer. And it was through these meditations that we own our bodies. We can either tear our bodies down or not. Everything that we allow in our life, we allow it, no matter if it's negative or positive. And it's because we repeat our history. So until we actually become present in those moments and really choose to change our habits, we just keep on repeating our history. So, and it's work. It's everyday work. And this is the excellence part. It's not like you try it just one time or the second time. If you really want different results, if you really want to change, if you really want to become a person of excellence, you got to do it and stick with it every single day. It's perfect for this quote. But yeah,
I just put into the chat box. Well, one thing I was going to recommend, since you brought that up, is that I'm reading a book. Well, I've already read it for the second time, The Power of Nice by Linda Kaplan. But since you have brought up the neuroscience part of it, there's a book called Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson, and he's co-authored with someone else that supports a lot of that. It's something I've learned about the emotional code through cognitive training through sports and the psychology of it. But again, it supports the way that the mind thinks and what it triggers and how that trigger can be reversed to actually heal your body on the same point. So I think we're all in the same line. And again, these conversations, I don't think anything happens by accident. I think the universe brings these powers together, which is the reason why one conversation shifted to another conversation and it tied in. So, you know, I think we're just beacons that are placed on the earth, and the conversations we have send out a wave, and then we see what comes back, like the ripples in the water. You know, they go through, and you define what each ripple is when it applies to your life. So again, I can't begin to thank the both of you for always being present and always bringing it and the wisdom that comes along with what you bring every single week. And I thank you.
Pleasure's mine.
All right.
Absolutely.
I think that's a
I love
good place
being
to
here.
end it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So I think Bruce, I did last week. Sam, back on you.
Okay.
I keep trying to bring young people into this, and I'm going to keep trying. And persistence is the gift to everything that exists. So we'll continue to see what's the next person that comes in, and if we can get young people to sit at the table with at the grown-ups table and see what happens, and see if we'll learn something from someone.
Yeah, Colin will be back next week.
All right.
He had me tell you, say, hey, he didn't forget about y'all, just some other obligations.
I know that I know the team players. I know who I can depend on. That's why I said, you know, your small circle of friends, they have a higher connections to action. Look at, God gave you 5 fingers for a reason. You deduct one, that's you. Look what you got left. Okay. You know your friends. All right. I will talk to you guys later. All right.
Peace.
Bye-bye.